but actually the number one area of the brain. Every once in a while you get there and you're like, yes, suppress the dopamine response a little bit. And so I have some friends who've done very well in the entrepreneurial space, and some of them, you get the phone call, what do I do now? It's like, oh, poor you, someone's like, what do you do? And I always just say, give it away. What you want to understand is that the brain and nervous system are connected, and sure, an experience could be associated with a body part. I happen to know people that have had their limbs blown off north of the knee. Do they not feel? Of course they have feelings about that experience, but they're every bit as cognitively connected as other people. People have all their limbs removed. So there is something special about the real estate in here.
As far as the brain from going 0 to 25, 25 plus, can you explain how that works as far as neuroplasticity, and then after 25, how it works for people as well?
Yeah. So some of your audience may already know this, but neuroplasticity is this incredible feature of the brain's ability to change in response to experience. And we should probably broaden that definition to say the nervous system, because the brain is obviously amazing, but that's just the part of the nervous system that's housed in the skull. You've also got all these connections with the organs of the body that control breathing and heart rate. Those can change too. When you hear about things like muscle memory, actually muscle has no memory. It's the nerve connections that change when you learn something and you relearn it. So neuroplasticity.
Would that be connected with fascia at all?
Yeah, so fascia can, they receive fascia, which is stuff wrapping the muscles really tight. They receive some neural innervation. The fascia kind of talks to the nerves, not so much the other way around. But I'm sure now that I said that, someone out there is going to, correct me. But and they're probably right. Most things in the body are bidirectional. So like the heart is communicating to the brain how fast it's beating. The brain is also controlling heart rate. The lungs are communicating with the brain are communicating with the lungs. So the reason I am hesitant to say it's all one direction is that typically when one looks a little bit more closely, you see that it's a two-way conversation. So typically when we talk about plasticity, we're talking about adaptive plasticity, some change in the nervous system that allows you to be better, think better, perform better, any of that. That means something changed. It's a pretty well accepted principle of neuroscience that the nervous system changes very easily from the time we're born until about age 25. It's not like on your 25th birthday, you get the gift of no more plasticity. It tapers off. And for some people it'll be 27 and some people will be 24. But from birth until 25, the entire nervous system, because of the chemicals that are circulating, because of a number of things, it just wants to change. And so it changes through just passive experience. So a child goes to their first movie or watches their first movie, and it changes the way they view the world forever. And you can unlearn things. That's also neuroplasticity. But all you need to do as a young person is be exposed to something and it will change your brain, provided it's novel or it's interesting enough or it makes you alert enough, you'll change. Now, after age 25, you can still get neuroplasticity, but the mechanisms completely change. The chemicals that are involved completely change. The ways to get neuroplasticity shift, and there are a couple requirements. The first one is that it has to be self-directed. We love the idea that we tell people to change and they're going to change, but the only change that comes after age 25 is self-directed change. You can shape a child for better or for worse. You can literally shape their brain and their nervous system. I mean, I would just watch the Tiger Woods documentary.